the local SWAT commander apparently said that the Secret Service never told them to man the roof. And you wouldn't expect Secret Service to be, farming out, manning the roof across the street from where Trump is speaking to the local law enforcement anyway. But do you find it odd that this happened on July 13th and today is July 31st and we still don't have access to the shooter's apps and phones, full access, and we still are getting bits and pieces of why the Secret Service just sort of blew off security meetings that day?
Well, frankly, all of this is their playbook. They delay, they deny, they distract. This is their playbook because they do depend on that short attention span that Senator Rand Paul just mentioned. They depend on that.
Yeah.
And plus with their ally, the mainstream media that wants to put it behind them, they're whitewashing history. That's what they're depending on.
Yeah.
We need people like you to continue to bring this to the American people, because we must find out what went wrong. And frankly, we do not want this to happen again before November the 5th.
Yeah, of course. Let me switch gears and ask you about what the White House is talking about now, even as they say Trump is a threat to democracy. Joe Biden wants to change the Supreme Court. The White House is defending the president's plan to reform the Supreme Court. It would impose an 18-year term limit for justices. It would enforce an ethics code and limits on presidential immunity. Watch this.
Is this Supreme Court proposal just an election year gambit?
He was reacting to what SCOTUS has been doing over the past, not just past couple of weeks, but certainly the last 2 years. What we're seeing right now is not normal. And majority of Americans agree with us, right? What we're seeing that the Supreme Court is not normal.
Congressman, she says it's not normal. Your reaction?
Well, they're also trying to say that any Trump supporter is weird. This is their projection themselves onto the conservatives in this country. We need to be very careful with this proposal. This is exactly what happened in Venezuela, and you see the results. First thing Maduro did, he changed the court. He has gotten a vast majority of the decisions are now in his favor, and you see what's happened in Venezuela. We do not want to become Venezuela. This is a dangerous proposal. It has no chance this year, but they're starting to socialize it so that the next liberal president, after Donald Trump, perhaps, they're socializing it so that they would then make their move years from now. But they're just starting to get it out there. It has no chance this year. This is bizarre. This is exactly what happened in Venezuela.
I'm glad you mentioned Venezuela because, by the way, the Carter Center is unable to verify the Venezuela election results. They're blasting officials for this lack of transparency. It's widely expected that Maduro stole the election. Is that what you think?
Oh, I think nations around South America think so as well, because they are starting to recognize the leader as the legitimate winner of this election.
Wow.
The numbers, there are lots of things we could talk about, Maria, but absolutely, I don't think there's any doubt that election was.
Well, of course, the top story of the morning is what's happening in the Middle East. Hamas has confirmed its top political leader, Ismail Haniyeh, was assassinated in an airstrike in Tehran, marking the highest-ranking death of a Hamas political official since this war in Gaza began. This certainly is the highest escalation that we've seen so far. The strike in Tehran coming just hours after Israel said that it killed a senior Hezbollah commander in Lebanon who was responsible for the deadly rocket strike that killed 12 children and teens in northern Israel. Congressman, what kind of a retaliation are you expecting here? Does this escalate from here?
Well, it won't escalate if the U.S. makes the right moves. The U.S. needs to immediately say, stop. And Israel will defend itself. They have every right to defend itself. And frankly, this is the second major signal that Israel has sent in the last few days. The attack into Yemen, that was further away from Israel than Iran is. So they sent the signal then. This is the signal that we can reach Hamas wherever they are inside Iran. These are two major signals. I think Iran needs to think long and hard about it. But I really believe that U.S. should step up and make very clear that we will defend Israel. I think we have a carrier moving toward Lebanon today. I want to see very strong signals from the U.S. That we will stand with our ally Israel.
This is an incredible escalation, Monica. Your reaction to this and what kind of impact it has on America? Jump in here.
Yeah, well, this is a very dangerous moment because we have no idea who is running the United States of America. Where is Joe Biden? We have not seen or heard from him. We heard from the vice president. Is she the acting president? Is Joe Biden asleep? I mean, this is a major escalation for Israel to go into the heart of Iran and carry out this strike in Tehran.
That's right.
So
That's the point, yeah.
the stakes are extremely high, and the point needs to be made that the Biden administration actually helped to finance Iran via Hezbollah, via Hamas, the attacks on Israel through lax sanctions enforcement, by waiving sanctions, and by allowing Tehran to sell oil on the world market primarily to China, which is their #1 customer. So they have essentially financed this conflagration in the Middle East.
Congressman, final word from you. Do you expect any retaliation on America?
No, and I think we need to be ready for it. But no, I do not. Iran will not be that foolish. We should be ready for anything, as we should always be.
Okay.
But absolutely not. I do not expect a major Iranian reaction in the United States. We need to confine this to the Middle East because it is a very dangerous situation. And frankly, the world is 80 years since the end of World War II.
Yep.
This is a dangerous time for the world because we all have forgotten what a major war, total war, looks like.
Congressman, thank you. Congressman Keith Self joining us.